Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is Corsair's RM850x 850 watt power supply and a Pro PSU cable kit. I'll also be discussing the premium power supply cable combs that you can get, which are well worth investing in, and I'll show you why in a minute. This is an unboxing video to show you what you get in both boxes and show you the final result, and to briefly discuss this modular power supply and the joy that it brings. Now, this is a really decent looking, fantastically designed power supply unit from Corsair. I've been a big fan of Corsair's power supply units for a long time. In fact, I can't remember the last time I used something else. They've never let me down. I've always had really solid performance from these power supply units, and I think Corsair know that they're not going to let you down, because this one comes with a 10-year warranty, which is insane. That is a dedication. I've never seen such a good warranty apart from lifetime guarantee on some car parts that I bought, which was just incredible as well. Now, this is a modular power supply that comes with all the usual things that you'd expect, including the modular cable set, a nice storage bag, a multitude of cable ties, although you can never have enough cable ties in my opinion, the Corsair case badge, which I always think is really good quality. It's a proper plastically designed, wonderful little sticker rather than your standard plastic sticker. It's a really nice sort of metal feeling one. It's a brilliant quality. Very small thing to get happy about, but I love that. The manual, all the usual warranty instructions and whatever else, and the basic combs. Now, those combs obviously help with getting your cables in order and making things ship-shape in your case. However, the standard combs, if you've ever used them, are a bit of a fiddle, and they don't hold the cables in terribly well, so they're not ideal. What I'm going to show you and discuss in a bit at the end of this video is the new premium combs that you can get, that you can use to keep things nice and neat, because they lock in place and they hold those cables in place. Now, the standard cables are actually really nice. The difference between the standard and the premium is the premium are a thicker quality. They're a thicker cable. They don't flex as easily, so they look much better. They're easier to get looking really neat inside your case, which is important because, as you'll see at the end, the build wants to look good because it's in a glass case and you want to have a good presentation. So if you want a case that looks really awesome, it's worth springing the extra money for the Pro kit, because it includes all those modular cables, some premium combs installed on the cables already, and a much better look and feel to it. Now, this is the power supply itself, the RM850x, as I said. It is a fairly compact, and it's also available in white, which is really nice, and it's going in a white case, so it's going to look mint. You can see it's a modular power supply, so you can chop and choose what connections you put on. It's actually really beneficial that this has a multitude of connections, because the motherboard I'm installing on takes 3 8-pin connectors, one 24-pin connector, and a PCIe connector as well. And I have a multitude of drives that need powering, as well as 2 connectors for the graphics card, one for a PCIe adapter for M2 drives. So you need a multitude of cables, and this has it all. So this is a separate purchase from the RM850x, obviously, as are the combs. However, it is worth it because these cables are really good quality. They ooze quality as soon as you get them out of the box. The cables themselves are thicker. They have a thicker protective coating on them. They just are a much better design. It does, however, mean you have an excess of cables. I've got so many power supply unit cables now, it's not even funny. More than I could deal with, because I also bought a premium kit for the last build I did. And the one before that also came with a load of cables, so it's just getting out of control. It also comes with this nice velvety bag, which is pretty standard. It's been for many years with Corsair's power supply units, and it's a great place to keep all your cables. So here you can see, here's the kit, and the power supply unit in their full glory, and a close-up view of all the different connections. See the 24-pin power connection for your motherboard is in the bottom right there, and then you have all the peripherals and SATA and the CPU ones at the top right. It's a plug-and-play affair, so you can choose which ones connect, as long as you connect them in the right order, obviously, for the CPU and 24-pin. But that allows a lot more flexibility, and you can see here the 24-pin cable on the left-hand side there has a larger comb on it, and then most of the rest of the cables also have at least one comb on them. This is the premium combs. Basically, it's a 3-part comb that splits apart. Now, it doesn't split apart on those ones because it's pre-installed, but if you buy the extra, optional extra, which I'll link to in the description, you can then connect multiple combs to the front side of your case on the cables to get them all nice and neat, and line up the cables so they all go around in the right order, and you'll see the results of it in the end. Now, this is the power supply being installed on the 680X crystal case from Corsair. You can see its side mounts on the rear, and this case is fantastic, by the way, if you are wanting to get your cable management on point, but you want to hide things out of the way at the back. This is a fantastic way to do it because it's got basically 2 compartments, and that allows you to hide it. So here you can see the 24-pin connector. Now the premium comb is in my left hand there, and you can see by the time you get to the end, the bit that plugs in your power supply, things are getting messy, even right near the beginning. So here's the 3-part premium combs, and this is actually probably my favourite part of this cable management. It's the best I've ever seen, because if you're trying to cable tie stuff together, obviously that pulls the cables together. It doesn't necessarily keep them neat, so it can be really fiddly if you're using basic cable ties. The standard combs supplied with the power supply unit don't have covers on them, so you have to individually push each cable into it and then make sure they stay in them, which is a bit of a faff. With these premium ones, you basically have to separate them out and make sure they're in the right order, then force the middle bit of the comb through, loop them over the top, just speed up this process for you. It is a bit of a fiddle, but it's not too bad. Once you get them lined up on the top, it's then easy enough to line them up and push that through. You get the connectors on either side that go through right the way through, and then you can line them up on both sides. You can see turning it over, doing the same thing. Now, a few of these combs on each and every one of the cables makes things really neat at the front, as you can see. And once you've got a comb on, you can also pull it around and adjust it, and then that keeps everything in line nice and easily, which makes life a lot easier. Once that's all lined up nicely, you can apply, put it in the front, and then you end up with this finished product. Should note there are some cable problems here that I still haven't sorted out. This isn't the final build actually, but it is 90% of the way through, and you can see I've got a multitude of different premium cable clips on there that are holding everything in place and making sure each individual line of the power supply cable is sleeking off to the back, making it look like I'm some expert on cable management, which I can assure you I'm not. If you saw the rear of the case, you'd probably cry. But once you get to the rear, you can use the standard cable ties to make everything nice and neat. So you have the impression on the front that it's all fantastic, and it does look really good, especially with this glass fronted case, or if you're opening the door and having a look inside. The results are worth it. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you like this video. Please like, subscribe, and come back for more in the future.